Safari Industries, in the days of Samsonites and VIPs, etc. This is not a brand that probably stood out at the top of the mind. Yet you chose to bet on the business. Why?
Sure. So I think first let's start with the industry, right? So in India, the aviation industry has just started. I mean, we are still 1/10 the size of China, right? And with roughly similar number of people. So there's a long way for this industry to grow, right? So that's obviously people debate a lot whether to invest in airline stocks or not. But I think this is a great way to look at a proxy, right? So as people travel by air, they want to make sure they're carrying the nice bag, and so they'll go and buy one of the nicer luggage and they'll take it with them. There's the tourism, both domestic and international, that's been increasing. Again, that's a driver for growth for the luggage industry. Weddings, right? When you're going for the wedding, you want to make sure that the whole barat is coming with nice luggage, right? So there are many of these drivers that are resulting in this industry growing at something like mid-teens year after year. Then on top of that, you have this extra bonanza in the form of backpack, right? So this is the second order effect of the two-wheeler revolution that happened in this country over the last 2 decades, right? So as people started to travel more by two-wheelers, they realized that unlike the old Bajaj scooters where you could put things in the front, on a motorbike, there's no place to store and take things. So the only way to take it is on a backpack, right? And so suddenly you started to see over the last 5 or 10 years, the number of backpacks actually rising rapidly, right? And if you look at the number of backpacks today, they're an order of magnitude more than what was there 10 or 15 years ago, right? Or even 5 years ago, right? People used to carry stuff in the old plastic bags they will get, from the shops, right? They will carry their stuff in. So I think that transition is happening. And what has started to happen now is that from buying very basic, simple backpacks, people are upgrading to more sophisticated, better quality backpacks, branded backpacks, right? And all the three players, so Samsonite, Safari, VIP, all of them are actually taking advantage of that.
So you're saying it's a rising industry, but you of course didn't bet very recently.
Yeah, we did. But this is still, this is very early stages of happening, right? And on top of that, thanks to GST, thanks to this preference of getting better products, you're seeing some of the unorganized to organized conversion happening in the backpack industry. And so the organized backpack market may be growing at 30, 40, 50% year on year, right? So that's a massive tailwind that all of the three branded players actually have. So that's the industry. If the industry is growing at 15% year on year, that kind of tailwind can allow companies to do a lot, right? Now, why Safari? Right?
Yeah, why Safari?
So generally, we always prefer to invest in the industry leader, right? That's a caveat. You always want to pick because they are the ones who are the most advantaged, they're the ones who have better economics. But in select cases, we have picked either a number 2 or number 3 player when we find that they are hungrier, they want to grow more, they're doing something unique, and as a result, they're able to take market share away and grow faster, right? You saw the same thing happen in case of Serra, the number 3 player, slowly gaining market share, and you're seeing the same thing happen in the luggage industry, right? Where Safari was a number 3 player, it was a distant number 3, and for many years it was languishing, right? I think from 2002 to 2012, its sales actually didn't grow while the industry was growing. So it was actually losing market share, right? And then in 2012, Sudhir Jatiya came and took over the company. And Sudhir, came with a lot of experience, right? Before he took over Safari, he was running VIP, he was the CEO of VIP. Before that, he ran Aristocrat, which was acquired by VIP. So he's one of the most experienced person in this industry, right? And on top of that, he's one person who knows the industry inside out, whether it's product design, whether it's product procurement, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's distribution. He knows it. He has lived through that, right? And he really wants to grow this and make it into a much bigger brand, a much bigger company. And when you come with that hunger, you can see that a company that was flat for 10 years has been growing at 30% annualized in the last 5 years.
So actually we have those charts as well, the revenue growth numbers from 2007, and it shows, I think, till 2012, there was hardly any move up, and then it started moving up. But interestingly, the last few quarters, it's also started showing on their margins as well.
Yeah, so I think that's always, bound to happen, that, there's always an operating leverage that comes in a company, right? So when you have a countrywide distribution, it's, there's a lot of costs involved with that. But once you cross a certain level, your margins can slowly start improving. And that's what you're seeing over the last few quarters. I think, that operating leverage has started to to play out.
You think this can improve further?
I think it can improve further, right? So if you look at VIP and where their margins are, they're still much higher than that of Safari. And if you look at when VIP was this size of Safari, I think the margins of Safari were still lower, but now they're slowly catching up. They've caught up to that level. And if they keep growing at this 25 or 30%, you're going to see those margins continuing to inch up, right? And so if a company is growing at 30%, it's able to increase its margin, your bottom line can increase quite rapidly.
Yeah.
And so that's an example of a company where, the industry is growing. It's a niche. It's a concentrated industry, right? So globally, in any country or any region, you only find 2 or 3 players, right? And that's when even in India, the 3 branded players control 90% of the branded business, right? And the reason is because luggage takes a lot of space,
yes.
right? So if you have 5 different products, you have 3 different sizes, you have hard and soft luggage, suddenly you have 30 different luggage that you want to put somewhere. No shopkeeper is going to give you that space unless your product sells. So that's why the branded players have a deep entrance advantage in this space. And that's why globally, this industry is very, very concentrated in any region or any country that you go to.
Wow, that's an interesting point.
Right.
So you bet on the promoter quality because of the change in management, or the management quality because of the change in management, as well as the growth in industry at a nascent stage.
Yeah, so the industry industry provides a tailwind. It provides a good backdrop, but then you need somebody who's able to harness that. And I think this is where I think Sudhir is able to do this well. And moreover, when you see this type of growth and this sort of passion coming from the CEO, when you see this sort of energy across the organization, it galvanizes everybody. It also attracts better talent from outside the company as well. And over time, you end up building a better and stronger team, which can deliver stronger and better growth in the future. And I think that story is sort of playing out at Safari today.